Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Cincinnati. Welcome our prospective members, our visiting Rotarians and guests. We're so glad that you are here. So much going on in the world that I'm so glad that you took time to be here in person and exchange with your friends and colleagues. We have a lot of themes going on today, talking about a vibrant club that's being recognized in the Rotary International world, talking about our own very, very active and engaged foundation. And then our program today, hearing about a gem in our region that maybe many of you don't know enough about. And hopefully today you will walk out of here knowing something about Cincinnati and its history that you didn't know. But let's begin our meeting as we always do with our national anthem led by Ken Coggeshall and Janet Metzelar. Janet?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Molly Rydell, will you lead us in the four-way test and invocation?
Thank you, President Doug. Good afternoon, everybody. Let us pray. O gracious God, we give you thanks for your overflowing generosity to us. Thank you for the blessings of the food we eat, especially this lunch today. Thank you for our homes and families and friends, especially those who are gathered here with us. Thank you for our health, our work, and for the opportunity to help others. Please guide us to help those that are hungry, alone, sick, or suffering war and violence. Show us ways that we can make a difference in our community and around the world. We ask these things in your name, Almighty Father. Amen. And now let us recite the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Please be seated.
You may be seated, and Dan Long, let's meet our guests and visiting Rotarians.
Thank you, President Bolt. You know, on my way down here, I thought, well, it's Christmas time, and we're going to have we'll only have like one or two people here, and we have 11 people for me to introduce this afternoon. So this is great. It's a good thing. So we start off with Carol Walter, that's with CTI Clinical Trial and Consulting Company. She's here with Doug Bolton. Henry Casanova is with Janus Consulting, is a guest of Michael Schatzman. Leonardo Duarte with WealthWave, brought to you by Michael Schatzman. Carmen Joyner with 360 Total Care, sitting at the Schatzman table. Jason Rinsky with FranNet, brought to you by Steve King. Zakaya Renee with Boutique Business Solutions at the Schatzman table. And Fred Okate's brother-in-law is here, so give a warm Rotary welcome to Eddie Efarobo. Nadine Allen, retired judge, is brought to you by Ron Dumas. And Yutang Wang with Jeanette is brought to you by Janet Metzelar. And then we have a flag exchange all the way from Nepal, Mona Adhikari. Mona, if you could come up and exchange your flag.
And this is a virtual flag exchange for Cincinnati. Our flag will be in the mail to you.
So just as a party note here, certainly make a point this December. I'm sure we're all going to be at family Christmas parties, business parties. We're going to be together at gatherings. Please think about the gift of Rotary to give to someone over the Christmas season. And, don't ask them to join the club. Just ask them to come to a meeting, because I think once they come to a meeting, they'll see what we're all about, and that's really what would be the convincing thing to get them to join. So please keep that in mind this Christmas.
Thank you, Dan. Our meeting today is sponsored by the Fred and Lillian Okate Foundation, and here to talk about the foundation is Fred Okate. Fred?
My 60-second starts. My name is Ovi Fred Okate. I'm a member of the Rotary Club here in Cincinnati. I'm also a member of the World Affairs Committee. The young boy many years ago lived in in Nigeria for his first 30 years, went to college in Nigeria, came to the United States in 2003 with his wife. They now have 3 beautiful children. When he got to the United States, he went back to nursing school, and after graduating from nursing school, decided to start his own business, and is now living the American dream. Decided to do nothing but with the stash money he has, but decided to now start paying fees for college students in Nigeria who are attending college, must be impoverished, and at the same time, orphans, widows not able to pay their fees. That young man presently started a project 6-7 years ago, now pays school fees for 125 college children in Nigeria, and that person is me. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Fred. And one guest of Lisa Lickert that we missed, James Fleming. James, will you stand up with Sentinel Accounting? All right, birthdays today. We have Richard LaJeunesse and Ryan Opichka. Ryan, Richard, please stand. And tomorrow, Bill Shula is going to be celebrating a birthday. On 3, let's wish them happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. All right, Bill, stay standing and come on up. This is the Bill Shula Show, talking about the Jefferson Award, the Rotary International Certificate, and a Paul Harris Fellow presentation. Bill?
Yeah, they stuck me all 3 the same day, whatever, this is the Bill Shula Show. Hey, good afternoon, and I'm really happy to be here today because we're talking about the Jefferson Award for 2024. We're fortunate to be one of close to 100 cities across the United States to participate in the National Jefferson Award, which was started in 1972 by Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis and our Senator Robert Taft. Our club has recognized local individuals and service organizations since 2005, including one of our own Rotarians, Doug Adams, in 2005. We have 9 national winners. We're fortunate to partner with Multiplying Good. That's a national organization that's been around for 50 years. The Cincinnati Inquirer, thank you to Jenny Key and her staff for helping us with our articles. This Channel 9 staff, and we're going to be having Tanya O'Rourke with us and helping us MC our program on March the 21st. The National Jefferson Award staff and our outstanding Jefferson Award committee that we have here with our club that reviews the nominations and selects our local winner. We could not accomplish this without all of you and our committee and reaching out to our community. I've been honored to serve on this committee since 2007, but we do need your help. It's our goal to nominate an individual and service organization from the greater Cincinnati area. Our timeline this year will begin with nominations on January the 1st until February the 15th. We plan to honor our Jefferson Award Service Award on March the 21st. Again, we have had 9 national winners and service organizations because our club in Greater Cincinnati has such great service organizations, individuals out there, and we're so happy to nominate them. There's only 5 individuals selected by the National Jefferson Award every year as their 5 finalists. We need you to think of individuals and organizations that you would be interested in nominating. The Cincinnati Inquirer is developing the nomination form that we will have on our website and shared with our members weekly in our e-raise. You will nominate individuals online to Christy in our office. We need to engage our public in making nominations from the greater Cincinnati area. Some of our past winners are Crayons to Computers, the Free Store Food Bank, Cure Starts Now, La Soup, 1 and 5, Lawn Life, Found Village, Magnified Giving, Dragonfly, and also we look forward to other nominations. But also we have our last year's winner I invited here to be here, Ron Dumas, and he is going to share some information about his experience for going to the National Award. Ron?
I can say what an honor, something that I never expected. I didn't even expect to become a member of the Rotary Club. A friend of mine who is very sick, who goes against his doctor's orders, but he's here today. Dr. Pierce is the reason, he's sitting in the back, that I'm a member. And thank you, Doc, for everything. I did talk to your wife. I told her I'd be looking out for you. Okay. Steve called me a couple times about coming this year, and each time I told him, no, I'm not coming. No, I'm not coming. And he said, well, your buddy Dr. Pierce will be there. And well, Dr. Pierce wasn't doing well, and then I finally showed up. I had no idea that I was nominated to even be a representative of Cincinnati. That was way a surprise. New York, for whoever gets nominated for next year, it's going to be out of sight if you've never been to New York. You're going to come across, like you said, a lot of great people. I made very good relationships with people from Minnesota, from California, South Carolina, Florida, just to see the people on stage and what they do to help people around the country was amazing. I was overwhelmed with everything. One thing I have to tell you that shocked me to realize I wasn't in Cincinnati is when I went down for breakfast one morning to get a blueberry muffin and a bottle of water. I handed the gentleman a $20 bill. He's still standing there. I said, sir, all I got is a blueberry muffin. You need $3 more. So when you go to New York, realize you're not in Cincinnati. It's going to cost you a little bit more money. But the experience is out of sight. I mean, the way people put on the whole event was nice. I am wearing the award that I won to represent the Rotary Club here in Cincinnati, and I was very excited about being a runner-up. So the person who may win next year, I'm gonna be working with you and talking to you, and you're gonna enjoy it. Thank you, Rotary Club, for giving me this experience that I never dreamed of. It's a lifetime lesson for me. Thank you.
he didn't tell you that his nomination came because of what he does at it's Avon Golf Course, correct? And his work with needy, at-risk children in the greater Cincinnati area on a regular basis. So unique. That's the reason why he was selected as his winner. So congratulations again for all your service that you do in the greater Cincinnati area. Thank you, sir. Our Cincinnati Rotary Club and our members had donated $4,730 during 22-23 Rotary year to eradicate polio. Our club each week honors our speakers with a donation in their name to the Rotary International for Polio Eradication. We were awarded a certificate at the Zone Institute in Memphis, Tennessee. Polio cases are still being reported in Afghanistan and Pakistan. As of November the 15th of this year, there are 11 cases reported, 5 in Pakistan and 6 in Afghanistan. So there's still a concern out there of the eradication of polio. I have a certificate to present to our president, and I want to thank you as members for your support in the eradication of polio, because we do need the funding to continue. So our Rotary Club of Cincinnati has presented a certificate of appreciation for its financial support of End Polio Now Countdown to the historical campaign. Together, we will fulfill our promise to the children of the world and eradicate polio. And this is signed by Ian Risley and also the past president of Rotary International, Jennifer Jones. So, President.
Like you said, I know people in Pakistan, I think there's still some hesitancy. So what Saudi Arabia is doing is any kid who comes from Pakistan, they are providing the polio. They cannot get into the city without the polio inoculation. So that, I appreciate that. I mean, that's great they are doing that.
Yes. And we are still so honored to have the Gates Foundation, because they ask us as Rotarians to raise $50 million a year, and they will donate $100 million. And the deadline to make that happen is June 30th of every Rotary year to make that happen. And we have been successful in making that happen. So today also I'm honored to recognize one of our fellow Rotarians for the support of the Rotary International Foundation, Nancy Reese. We have an excellent Cincinnati Rotary Foundation which does outstanding service in our community. The Rotary International Foundation is truly international and serving hundreds of countries around the world. And our club has received over $100,000 from the Rotary International Foundation since 2015. Because when you donate $1, 50 cents of that dollar comes back after 3 years to the Rotary District, and then that money is dispersed out for either international global grants or for club grants and projects you have. You can donate to any of the 7 areas of focus: peace and conflict resolution, disease prevention, sanitation, hygiene, maternal and child care, basic education and literacy, economic and community development, environmental issues, and polio eradication. The foundation started in 1917 in Atlanta. The endowment fund was started by RI President Arch Clump, entitled Service and Helpfulness. Arch was from Cleveland, Ohio, and the Cleveland Club, and started the foundation at the Rotary Conference with a donation of $26.50, and now we've got billions of dollars. In 1985, the Polio Plus program was introduced. At that time, 350,000 children were afflicted by polio each year. It has been eliminated in the United States in 1994, and has been eliminated by 99.9% worldwide today. Our former Rotarian, honorary Rotarian, we had Albert Sabin, was key in developing the oral vaccine here in Cincinnati at the Children's Hospital. I would like to have Nancy come forth, and she is receiving a P. Paul Harris Fellow +1. That means she's given $2,000 toward the Rotary International Foundation. So congratulations. Again, thank you for all your support for our foundation as well as Rotary International Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And Jim, you want to come on up, the president of the Cincinnati Rotary Foundation. And I forgot, I meant to say this at the beginning of the meeting, but it's actually very appropriate just before we begin to hear from our speaker. If you haven't silenced your phone, please do so. For several meetings, we've had some very rude interruptions of people's phones ringing. And something the Rotary Club of Cincinnati has been doing for a long time, maybe got out of the habit of doing it, is fining you if your phone interrupts our meeting. So it's very appropriate for me with Jim standing by me to support me in this effort. If your phone rings at a future meeting, we're going to recommend you make a donation to the Rotary Foundation as a result of that violation. You decide how much. $25 would be recommended. The old fine used to be $100. But again, we don't want it to be onerous, but we do want you to donate to the Rotary Foundation. Jim?
Thanks, President Doug. What a segue there. Yeah, we don't have a budget line for that, but we'll gladly take those donations if you got it. Yeah. As most of you know, our Rotary Foundation of Cincinnati is the charitable arm of our club. It was established back in 1960. It provides financial support for many of the causes that all of you are passionately engaged with year-round as our club membership. So, this year our causes have included support of our public service heroes, Cincinnati Police, our fire department, our public schools, and Hamilton County Sheriff's, the AED program. The foundation played a role in Rotary Do Days and the 34 projects that impacted all corners of our community. It's been engaged in global outreach with our hardworking World Affairs Committee on the solar panel campaign in Uganda this year. We also support, as many of you know, the Condon School Christmas party that you were involved in just this week. And our allocations program will again provide impactful grants to about a half a dozen very worthwhile nonprofits around our community. And of course, our foundation's cornerstone mission is our ongoing funding and support for Rotary's Camp Allen, which we founded, where an exciting new chapter of growth is taking shape due to the adjacent land acquisition we were able to make last year. So that's going to be a key part of our focus in coming years, is capitalizing on that. So as you can see, our foundation has lots of moving parts. And our vision statement really couldn't be any clearer, which is inspiring the spirit of giving to make a real difference in our world. So in that spirit, there's two things I'd like you to consider today. The first is to mark your calendar for our foundation's signature fundraiser in early 2024. Our inaugural Pickle Graw event will be the afternoon of Saturday, February 17th at the new Aces Pickleball Complex in Norwood. This is a whole new type of fundraiser for us. It's a Mardi Gras themed event. It should have a little something for everyone. Food and drinks, be a competitive pickleball tournament, open play lessons for beginners, silent auction area, and plenty of space just for mingling and socializing with all the guests there. So we're really excited. We're super excited about it. Later this month, we'll be releasing all the information on how to attend and participate. Right now, what we're actively seeking is event sponsors, both corporate and personal. There are several levels to choose from. We've already had a pretty good head start here, but plenty more to do. And we're also seeking silent auction donations, which many of you have been very generous on with all of our events in the past. So please reach out to me or the Rotary office if you are interested in sponsorship opportunities for our pickleball signature fundraiser. We really need your support to make this event a hit. The second foundation I'd like to keep in front of mind is our year-end ask. Recently, you probably all got a mailing from the Rotary office about it. As in years past, we've just designated a couple specific causes to make a meaningful impact with your donation this month. This year, the funds raised in our year-end ask will be evenly split between our World Affairs Endowment and a special project for our own Roselawn Condon School. The World Affairs Endowment just surpassed $100,000 for the very first time, which is a awesome achievement. And it's thanks to the hard work and future vision of a lot more smarter people than me in this room, so I'm very thankful for it. Through smart investing, it's well set up to make its own meaningful impact for this year and many years to come. The second part of the Year-End Ask is the Roselawn Condon School, which our club helped establish in 1919. It's got its own special needs in the way of equipment. It's become clear to us in some of our visits and talks with them recently that many of the kids and their incredible teachers there really need our support. So we're determined to make something happen for them, impactful and special during this Rotary year. So again, please contact the Rotary office to pledge your support for the Year-End Ask. I invite you to join me and plenty of the people in this room who actively support our Rotary Foundation of Cincinnati. It doesn't happen without all of you. Thanks.
Jimmy has a call. Jimmy, you want to take the call? He says he just left. Okay, thanks.
Hey, these guys used to call me when I was up there as president, and some of you know who you were, and I have my phone over there, and it was silent. I could look out in the audience and see who it was. Yes. Right, Owen?
So thanks for playing along with the foundation fine and suggested donation. Jim mentioned the Condon School. We want to thank. Let's give a big round of applause to the Brandstetters for another great Condon party this past Tuesday. And continuing in the theme of what our club is doing, tomorrow night, calling all women of Rotary to join the Women of Rotary Committee in a happy hour at the Metropolitan Club. If you have not registered, please email Carol Cerrone and let her know that you are coming to that event. Our last meeting of this calendar year is next week. Our holiday extravaganza be featuring the Kilgore Elementary School Choir. That's here on December 14th. Make sure you make your reservations by the end of the day tomorrow in DAC-DB. Next week will be the last meeting here at the Phoenix. Many of you know, longtime Hilton occupants. We moved here to the Phoenix earlier this year, and now with the pending closing of this facility, we will begin meeting at the Transept beginning January 11th. So in between that December 14th meeting and January 11th, a couple of reminders. We still have a neighborhood coffee that is planned on December 19th at Birdie's Coffee in Norwood. So make sure you mark your calendars. Your Rotary fix will only be unmet from December 19th until January 11th. So we hope to see you at our monthly Rotary coffee on the 19th. The Rotary office will be actually closed for 4 days through the holidays, so December 25th, 26th, January 1st, and January 2nd, and we'll have limited hours the 27th through the 29th. So if you have business to do with the Rotary office, please make sure you take care of that before the 22nd or anticipate a little delay in the response, but we'll be kicking it hard back come January 3rd as we prepare for our first meeting at the Transept on January 11th. All right, I believe that is all of the announcements, and let's do split the pot. The pot is now $48 for today's winner. The accumulating pot is up to $1,198. Today's winner is 552762. 552762. Awesome. Stephanie Shear. Let's see if Stephanie can pull the Queen of Hearts. So close. So, proof that the Queen of Hearts is in there, yes. Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to introduce to you our speaker today. Patricia Van Skaik has been a lifelong librarian, spending more than 2 decades at the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County, and then was recruited in 2017 to be the executive director of the Lloyd Library and Museum. She's been working successfully to remove the hidden gem moniker that everybody has described the Lloyd Library with, but she still finds people that have never been there and don't know what it is. So great opportunity for us Rotarians to get educated and also help her spread the word about this amazing institution. Patricia was born in Dayton, but didn't live there very long. Her father was in the aerospace industry, so they moved around quite a bit to Seattle and Huntsville, came back to Cincinnati, where she actually graduated from Lakota High School. Let's give a warm Rotary welcome to Patricia Van Skaik.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. What a great introduction. Thank you, because that is exactly what I want to talk about, is this hidden gem, or not so hidden gem, we hope. Right off the bat, again, great introduction. For many years, people that did know us knew of us or referred to us as Cincinnati's hidden treasure. Just out of curiosity, though, how many people in the room know about the Lloyd Library? Okay, that's better than I get in most places. How many have been to the Lloyd Library? Well, that's still even better, but there's still some questions to be answered. As was mentioned, I was recruited in 2017, and one of my marching orders at the time by the board was, we don't want to be Cincinnati's hidden treasure anymore. So we want you to get the word out. We've got wonderful things here, and we want people to be able to use and enjoy them. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a very brief history and tell you about some of the things we're doing today, and then a very exciting vision for the future. So we have been around for almost 150 years. We were established by the Lloyd brothers in the 1870s, and they were 3 pharmacists, and they put the library together originally as a basis for them to get information for their research. So they were not the normal pharmacists, you might say, even for the 19th century. They ascribed to a school of medicine called the eclectic school of medicine. So I think there's going to be even fewer people. Is anybody in the room familiar with that? Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
My godfather went to the eclectic school of medicine.
Yeah. So, well, that's great. We probably have him listed in the matriculation records for the EMI. It was a school of medicine that, in contrast to conventional medicine in the time, didn't believe that you cured people by poisoning the disease out of the body. So you'll recall people used things like leeches and bloodletting and that sort of thing. Instead, the eclectics believed that you relied on the medicinal and healing properties of the body, so kind of like immunization therapy would be today. They also looked to Western traditions, but they looked to other traditions of the world, Chinese medicine, Indian medicine, Native American medicine, and incorporated those in. So what that meant is, to collect materials for their research, they had to gather books from around the world. And one of the brothers happened to be a particular book lover, which didn't hurt. And so you could see on the screen there all of the places, and this is in a window of time right around the turn of the 20th century, where the Lloyd Library, and particularly Curtis Gates Lloyd, actively collected books. And you can see, except for Antarctica, every continent is represented there. And because he was looking for medical information, he wasn't looking for things that were just published around 1900. So we actually have books that go back to the 1400s that they collected. So that collection, the scope, really grew to include anything about plants, nature, plants in particular, because they relied a lot on plants and their medicinal value, but also ecology and travel, and lots of subjects, if you just think of plants and nature and wellness, that sort of spread out from there. They continue to collect books, and we do as well. We still have a live collection, and by that I don't mean we have plants in our collection, but we still are adding every year to the collection. And we're adding things that will be of value of people today, but also we want people to 25, 50 years from now say, well, what did they think about COVID-19 back in 2022 or 2023? Just like we were able to provide a wealth of information about what people thought about the epidemic in 1918 and 1919. So as you can see, we've grown to, quite an extensive collection, and we're running out of space too, which is sort of a preview for what's coming next. So, who uses us? Well, first of all, and some of you might recognize that very young picture of George Revachol, who invented Benadryl. But who uses us? Of course, scientists use our collection. People that are doing drug research, they do their research in the lab, but they still come to our library to see, especially like historical information, like was this particular compound ever used for a particular drug. An example that some of you might be aware of is the drug digitalis. If you've ever heard of it for heart disease, it is the same compound that's used in the flower digitalis. And when the drug company was developing that drug, they came to our library, looked at our books, and saw hundreds of years of medical dictionaries talking about digitalis for heart disease. And when they went for FDA approval, they were able to shave about 7 years off the approval process. Still, of course, had to do clinical trials and all of that. Still had to do the research in the lab. But they're finding that of great value. Botanists, of course, use our collection. A lot of environmental scientists, and on a little bit softer side, the medical historians. But we're not just used by scientists. We also have photos, arts, and artifacts. And our art collection is truly amazing. We have the largest collection of botanical art found in books, literally in the world. And so what we're finding is that the people that come to use the Lloyd Library, to visit the Lloyd Library, we're actually seeing the people that are interested in art and in history tipping the scales and weighing more than the folks that are coming for scientific research. We still get both, but we get an awful lot in the art realm. We are free and open to the public. We always have been. This is an amendment to our Articles of Incorporation that in 1924, where they talk about being both a global destination and service to the community. It's something that a lot of people don't know because, one, we'll talk about this in a second, our building doesn't exactly communicate that we're welcoming or what we are. And the other thing is the people, we're an independent library, so we're not affiliated with the university or a hospital or a botanical garden. And most independent libraries are membership libraries. You might be familiar like the Mercantile Library, so people will think, well, you've got to be a member to come in. But indeed, we are free and open to the public. As I showed the map a few minutes ago, oh, this doesn't show up as, yeah, I guess it doesn't show up as clearly on this screen. But the blue, that we did have a global reach when we collected our books. This was in 2017 when we went live with a new website. And what you see in blue, which is everything that is colored, is all of the places in the world that people were logging into our website and logging into our catalog. So we're able to screen out that it wasn't bots that were doing that and how much time they were spending. Again, we are back to every continent in the world except Antarctica was logging onto our website and going beyond that, looking at our catalog and looking at our resources. So we are not just a place for chemists and people that are doing scientific research. Yeah, I think that's kind of visible. This is in the last month, some of the people and some of the things that they were looking to research that came to our library. So we had everything from an archaeologist who was looking at ancient Mayan water systems, to geologists, to historic gardeners, to a nursing student who was looking at early childhood illnesses related to teething at the turn of the 20th century. So there's just lots and lots of directions that people take the resources that we have. We also support institutions around the world, mostly sending them scans of materials into our collection. Again, this is from 1 month. The places both in Ohio and the United States, and it's a lot of hospitals, it's a lot of universities, but it's also Department of Agriculture, those sort of places as well. So I've really sort of talked about the scholarly part, but I want to emphasize how much we've reached out and how much our community engagement has grown in the past decade. You can't see that very well from here, or at least from where I'm standing, maybe those a little closer, but we did a user survey last year saying, self-identify yourself, tell us who you are, and check all that apply. So of course it comes to more than 100%. You could be both an environmentalist and a gardener, for example. So, when you look at that, or again, I can show it up closer later after the show, but we see everything from artists to gardeners to ecologists to students to teachers. I like to say sometimes if you artists, people that appreciate art, if you have a passion or a love for anything about plants and nature in any way, even if it's food, you like to eat, you're cooking and that sort of thing, there's something at the Lloyd Library for you. We also, and I was talking to somebody about this before the program, we have had a huge increase in community engagement in the last really 5 or 6 years. In fact, our attendance has gone up more than 1,200%. And we've gone from 80% of the people that used to use the library being researchers to 80% people from the community that are walking in the door, 20% being researchers, and at the same time quadrupling the number of researchers. So we've done something that's really important to us. We don't want to at all lose what's special and unique, but we also want to share it. So a real goal for mine and for the library now is that we have to bring our collections to life. That we're not a repository. Whenever someone says to me, "You're a great repository," I sort of cringe at that, and maybe that comes from a public library background. It's like, we're not this special safe that we keep things under glass, although we are a special safe. But if nobody's using them and nobody has access to them, it doesn't really mean anything. So some of the ways that we've brought exhibitions to life or brought our collections to life are through incredibly engaging exhibits. We don't just put pretty books up on the shelf, although our books are so beautiful, that would almost be good enough. But they've got really solid intellectual content to them. People will hear about an exhibit that we have and say, hey, I heard about this exhibit, you know, where is it? And we're like, oh, there it is. And they look and see, you know, 5 bookcases, and they're used to galleries and galleries and art museums, and they'll say, that's it? You know, like, I made the trip for this, and then 2 hours later, it's time to close. We'll, you know, have to sort of say, well, we're trying to wrap up here. But the point is that there's so much rich content, and it's so deep that, you know, it really allows you to intermingle, get to know the story, that sort of thing. Speaking of which, we do have a new exhibition that is opening this Friday called Flora Mania. And there actually are some postcards out on the table. I invite you to come to our opening reception. It's from 5 to 7, free and open to the public. It's always a really good time. Or also just come back anytime to see it. Here are just some pictures from some opening receptions that we've had. I might be a little biased because I'm from the Lloyd, but I've been to so many openings, so many lectures, and I swear I have never seen people that don't know each other connect and engage around a book. Somebody knows something. It's really so rewarding to see that take place. As I said, we don't like to keep things in a vault under glass so that you can't see it, or maybe just in a vault that you can't see it. The other thing that's really important is that we connect the things that we are putting on exhibition to contemporary issues of today. So if we were doing an exhibition on, say, diseases and immunization and that sort of thing, we absolutely would connect it to polio and some of the issues that people are looking at. So, and that's one of the ways that, again, we really bring these issues to light. It's so fascinating to see how somebody 400 years ago looked or thought about birds, you know, to what we know about today and what their environmental status is. We also have to, we try to have a variety of programs. So we have lectures, and some of them are very hardcore, nerdy science kind of lectures. And then we, you know, have things that are lighter, like cooking with mushrooms. Some examples of things that are coming up for our upcoming exhibition is we're going to have first of all, we have a holiday open house that you can just pop in and visit the Lloyd. That's December 16th, but we're also having a couple programs on saving flowers from extinction, and later on we're going to have the programs on the medicinal values of flowers. We're going to have some hikes in the woods of identifying wildflowers. So we try to hit a lot of interest, but also, like, what's your style? Do you like to sit in a room and listen to a lecture, or would you rather, you know, be out in the woods, or maybe both? We, again, some of these didn't come through as well. We partner with about 50 organizations a year. These are just a couple of them that we've partnered with, so we can't do anything that we do without our partners. Also, just a quick plug for our gift shop. If you're last-minute holiday shopping, everything in our gift shop comes from a digital image from our collection, so you literally can't find it anywhere else. So we have had a lot of successes. I mentioned the 1,200% increase, the people that are coming to the Lloyd Library, you know, our online engagement. I'm trying to see. Oh, and in 2023, we had over 900 participants in 20 programs. And that number, 19,000, is now up to 20,000 people have now watched our YouTube programs, which are recordings of our programs that we have at the Lloyd. But one of the things that we found is that we have literally and figuratively run into a brick wall to continue and to offer the services and continue with the direction that we want to do. We have, as I mentioned, we're running out of room for our stacks. We don't have room to expand staff or to really bring on many volunteers that want to work for the Lloyd. Our spaces are all sort of on top of each other, so the research space and the program space, and where people come look at exhibits, and people are doing different things. If you want to do hardcore research, it's kind of hard if somebody's 2 feet away getting very excited about a mushroom book. We, again, literally, I know I said this a lot, we have sold out every single program that we have had this year, usually within a day or so after we announce it. And that means we're turning people away, and we really don't like that. I talked about digitization. We don't really have a place for a digitization lab, the structure, and so on. But getting back to the first thing that I was talking about is that our facade is not friendly, it's not inviting. People don't know who we are, they don't know that we're welcome. So we knew that we had to address these issues. We've had 3 library buildings, all at or near the corner of Court and Plum. And so now we're looking at what will be a major renovation and expansion of our library. Those challenges that I mentioned, one of the things that we discovered after we hired an architect to work on pre-concept design was that the good news is that our facade is literally a facade. So our poured that was the best news that we could get. Our poured concrete structure is intact, and it's not quite as simple as it looks here, but we can lift the exterior out, and we've got a really great foundation. That means it will be much less expensive, and we wouldn't have to move our materials off-site. And what it also means from an environmental point of view is, with demolition and all of that, we don't have those sort of consequences. So this is our new vision for the future. The building that you see to the right would be an addition that would go over our parking area. That would be our new program space. You can see the 2 illustrations or renderings on the left. One is as you walk in the door, the other below it is the designated research space. And then to the right is the program space where we would have enough capacity to host the Rotary Club, which we don't have the capacity to do right now. And then on top of that would be access to a rooftop garden deck with a pollinator garden. Oh, sorry, I'll go back to that. It is really beautiful, isn't it? And, view of the stadium, and looking south would be City Hall. So I am open for questions. I certainly hope that folks from the Rotary Club will consider connecting with us in some kind of way. Come visit. There's lots of ways that you can, and maybe we could even partner on something. I think that would be fabulous. Thanks. Yeah.
A contemporary idea that I think would be very well received would be something to do with the eradication of dementia and Alzheimer's. When you talk about plants, there's a book out there, Plant Paradox by Dr. Stephen Guthrieff. There's another book, Brain Health, which deals with gut health by Scott Purmont. And then Dr. Bredesen has written a book called The End of Alzheimer's. So there's a lot of things there, and my guess is nearly everybody here has had a loved one or a friend who's dealt with dementia issues. And it's something that we all have to look forward to in terms of a possibility in our own lives. So what a wonderful topic to have to kind of blow the cover off of the library with respect to people really being interested in this very, very contemporary and important topic.
That is a fantastic idea. We've done a little bit on that, but it certainly could expand. We've had a program or 2 I even thought that an exhibition on the brain would be fascinating, and that could be a real important connection, and have people that are doing latest research, that sort of thing. And like you, I do have loved ones, or like you mentioned, loved ones in my family, so it's something that's very near and dear to me.
I had a question about, kind of following up with Bob, and that is, what did they think about dementia and things like that in the 1400s, in the 1800s, in the early 1900s? And is there any way that there would be funding for digitization of what their thoughts were? In other words, is there a way for us to access the wisdom that they had in the 1800s and the 1900s that we can draw from today and accelerate our understanding and use that to help accelerate or build on our understanding of things that we have forgotten from 100 or 200 years ago? But we just don't have access to it because, you know, you just don't have enough people that can get to the library. Is that possible, or does that?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to answer a couple of parts of that question, hoping not to dodge the question too much. A typical librarian answer to the Alzheimer's question is, I don't know the answer to that, but we can certainly help you find that out. So that's something I'm going to ask about when I go back, but that's exactly the kind of things people come to our library, contact us via email, and say, hey, this is what I would like. So yeah, I think all of that would just make a very fascinating exhibit program series. And also, again, we could assist somebody in that research. With regard to what's available digitally, like many, many libraries, much of our collection has not been digitized. And it's not as simple a matter of just getting it scanned. You have to have it, you know, it has to live on a server, it has to be searchable so that someone could get their fingers on, you know, the Alzheimer's information. It's not just like having a garage full of papers or something like that. But again, what we can do is we can offer support in terms of putting those scans out and hopefully having a much more sizable digital operation as we look at our new building and our new facility, or a renovated building.
Yeah, I love the library. What do you do for STEM cell students from town and around?
So we do have some connections with some local high schools. We've done things with Walnut Hills High School, SCPA. We also have done things with a couple of elementary schools, like Hayes Porter Elementary School, which is in the West End. Their science classes, their botany classes, will go out and do presentations there. Again, that is something that's a bit of a challenge with our building, because to have a class group in at the same time that we're open, at the same time that people are doing research, you know, do we close the library for a couple of hours, that sort of thing. So more of what we're doing is, right now, outreach to the schools as opposed to having them in, although we will do that on occasion. And that's an area that I'm so glad you asked that, and it's something that's come up a lot, that we really think in terms of engaging with the community, that when we have the facility, we'll be able to do so much better for kids, too.
So Patricia, thank you very much. So Patricia, hold on a second, come right back. So as Bill referenced, we'll be making a donation in your name to the End Polio Now campaign. Nice. We'd also like to present you this coin that has our beautiful skyline on it, and I think if you look close enough, you can see the Lloyd Library in there, especially with that new design. You'll be able to see that. And then of course our four-way test on the back. Let's give her another big round of applause. So committee meetings today, environmental sustainability and membership review downstairs as soon as we're over. A reminder that take off your white shirts, your coats. Next week, we want you to wear your ugliest Christmas sweater so that you can take home the trophy ugliest sweater champion, Rotary Club of Cincinnati. So enjoy next week's meeting in festive form. Make it a great day. Meeting adjourned.